I'm from TrainSignal, which has now recently been acquired by Pluralsight. So I need to change that logo actually now on these slides. But my presentation title today is The Secret to a Successful Career in Technology. So why give this presentation? Well, the first reason is to respond to a number of different questions that I get via email. I get a lot of questions from people really all around the world who say, hey, I'm new, I want to get started in virtualization, how do I do it? Or, yeah, I've been a network admin for a while, I want to be a virtualization admin, what do you recommend? So I thought this would be a good way to just share that knowledge instead of trying to, write it in an email every time and respond to them. But also because I believe, recently I felt like I finally have done a few things that have worked out over the years, and I wanted to try to share, what I've done with some other people, and maybe it would help them as well, so they wouldn't make the same mistakes that I made. How about that? So just a little background on me. I've been in the IT industry a long time. I used to actually sell computers at Best Buy. I sold Windows 3.1. Yeah, that was exciting. I was like a PC tech at Best Buy for a while, and then I went through college and graduated. I was like a network admin, a Unix admin, and then we found virtualization. We tried like Microsoft Virtual Server, then VMware Server, then VMware ESX, and of course really loved that. I started blogging and writing for Tech Republic, first around Cisco networking, and then later around virtualization. And then was honored to speak at a lot of different VMworld events in Europe and North America this year here at VMworld. So, done a lot of fun things. I write now for Virtualization Review and other magazines like Tech Target, created a lot of video training courses for TrainSignal, and a number of different certifications. So what is it I do today? Do as much as I can. This isn't really how I work. I wish it was. I do live near a beach, which I was finally able to move to because I was able to work from home. But I really spend most of my time in my office every day, and don't get out there as much as I wish. But I'm happy to be able to work from home and create video training and write. It's something I feel really passionate about. I write a lot of white papers, blog posts, create training courses, just whatever I can do. Speak at VMUGs. I really love speaking at VMUGs because I get to actually get out of my office and talk to real, technology people. So the title of the presentation is The Secret to Success, and that was actually what I titled the presentation before I started writing it. And then I realized there was more than one secret. There wasn't just one secret. There's actually multiple secrets. So there's not just one bottle of secret sauce. There's multiple bottles of secret sauce. So secret number one. First off is to have a plan. One of my favorite, it's an off-color quote, I guess, but my favorite movies, The Hunt for Red October, they tell Alec Baldwin, he says, son, Fred Thompson, yeah, he says, son, the Russians don't take a dump without a plan, right? So you need to have a plan. So what's your plan, your career plan, right? I think, most people, including me, for a number of years, didn't really have a plan. It's just like, I go to work, I do my thing, and don't really have time for anything other than just my job and go home and do family stuff. And there was really no plan. So, first off, I encourage you to get a plan. It's kind of like in IT. A lot of people don't have a disaster recovery plan. First you got to have a plan if you have a chance, or if you stand a chance to do anything successful. So, what's your plan? So these are just some different ideas. Hey, there's a screen up here. I just noticed that. So, what's your plan? Maybe you want to work for your own technology company, or maybe you want to work from home, or give a keynote here at VMworld one day, like Kit Colbert did, or be part of the keynote at least. Have passive income, so you have extra money. Take the family on vacation. Whatever it might be. Run a top blog. There's Eric Siebert has his top blog list, the top 50 blogs. Maybe you'd like to be on that list. It's not me to tell you what your plan should be. It's up to you. Everyone, comes up with their own plan, and many people, amaze me at the things that they dream up that they want to do. It's really inspiring to me. And a lot of people, they just want to, get a promotion or get a raise. A lot of the people that email me. So brainstorm, different ways to get there. So here, this is just a free, Mac app for brainstorming that I use. And this was the Wirebrain Coffee, coffee domination plan, how they're going to take over the world from Starbucks. So I came up with a bunch of crazy ideas. So it's just an example. But the point is, try mind mapping or just sit down and just write, when you get somewhere quiet and come up with your career plan. So this is just my brainstorming of, okay, I want to get a higher paying job in virtualization, let's say, because that might be something that people around here want to do. So, here's my brainstorm. If I was just a regular admin, let's say I want to get a higher paying job in virtualization. Chuck Hollis, actually, who works for EMC, he's EMC's Chief Technology Marketing, CTO Marketing Officer, I think, is his title. He said on the episode of Geek Whispers, there's some Geek Whispers people over there, that blogging and social media was the new MBA. So he said a lot of people in EMC, they ask him, how can I get ahead in my career? And, they say, maybe I should go get an MBA. And he says, I'm not going to stop you from doing that. It's a good thing. But, you might consider blogging and social media instead, because in the same amount of time with a lot less money and a lot less studying, you could achieve the same or similar results, for your career path. You could really get ahead. So, I would develop a one-year plan, start a blog, share my knowledge. Maybe it's a certification goal. A lot of people have VMware admins, that's like the ideal goal is, okay, first I want to get my VCP, VCAP, VCDX, whatever. Because that's a great topic that a lot of people are interested in. So that's just an example. And then promote your expertise, in social media. Talk about your goal to other people who have done the same thing. Say, hey, I want to get this. What do you think? Have any tips? Talk about it on your blog, and then maybe offer to speak at your local VMUG when you have something, to share that you've learned in your certification pursuit. One of the things, a lot of people do, me included, is develop when you go to a conference, I hate to call it a hit list, like the mob, but just a list of people that you want to meet, that you want to make sure you meet, talk to, get their business card, tell them your story, your goal, what you want to do in your career, and ask them for their feedback. Of course, VMworld, and we're here at VMworld, so I was giving this presentation originally at a local VMUG, and I tried to encourage everyone there to make sure you go to VMworld and talk to anyone and everyone, and just tell others about your goal and see where it takes you. I think a lot of people, when they do have goals, they don't feel confident enough to tell other people about them or to actually pursue them or make a plan around those goals. So the vExpert 2013, a lot of people around here know what vExperts are, but I would encourage anyone out there, on the internet, if you don't, look it up and find out what it takes, because it's a fantastic program, that John Troyer put together, and it awards you based on the work that you've done over the past year. So right now, you've got a year till, well, I guess you don't have much time left in this year. You've got a few more months, 4 months or 5 months, let's say, to work as hard as you can to, prove that you are worthy of a vExpert for your work in 2013. But it could be a lot of different things you do, speaking at the VMUG or, a great blog or write a book or, whatever it might be. So fantastic program and a great way to get recognized. There's the vExpert directory. You can list your blog in there, your credentials, and of course, many other benefits. So once you have a plan, the next step would be to network. And what a great place to network here, right? In person, it could be your local VMUG, peers, customers, all the technology bloggers. And I like the hit list idea still, because it's amazing how I can come to VMworld, be here the whole week, and not see certain people that I really wanted to see. So I think it's important to try to make sure you target those people that you think are most important. Social media, the VMware community podcasts, always walk away with business cards. I've got a stack of business cards in my bag here of, people that I've met. The V Brown bags, I don't know if anybody's heard of that. Maybe, maybe not, no. It's a fantastic program that Cody Bunch put together over at professionalvmware.com. And it's really expanded around the world. I mean, there's VMworld, vBrown bags in Europe, Asia. I heard they even have them in New Zealand, right? Yeah, yeah. So great program, and I really love that all the brown bags are recorded. So it's like a digest, like a history of all this knowledge that's out there. Good, good. I'm glad to be a part of that. To even a little teeny tiny part. So it's really taken off. I mean, huge credit to all the guys that have taken it over. And it's really like, to me, it could be a little off topic. I think all those recordings, they need to be the V Brown Bag YouTube or Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I see a lot of opportunity in those. So Twitter, some people around here might have heard of Twitter, probably. But I've got a virtualization Twitter list of, my top, Twitter followers in the world of virtualization. The Geek Whispers, I've been listening to this podcast since they started it. And what I like about this is it gives you an inside scoop as to what's going on in the minds of these people who specialize in social media. So it's their full-time job to really network and build a brand. And so to me, these are experts on building technology brand. So this is kind of like the VCE of technology branding here, VMware, EMC, and Cisco. Experts are on the Geek Whisperers podcast just about once a week. And so they share a lot of great quotes. Here's some of the quotes that I wrote down from one of the Geek Whisperers podcasts. They said that social media, is critical to your job, and it's really just human communications with better tools. Just be a good person, have something important to say. A lot of people don't know where to start. I would just start with one medium, start with Twitter, let's say, and develop your personal brand. Don't be David Train Signal and just talk about Train Signal stuff all the time. Really be a genuine person and talk about your own, stories in working in your virtual infrastructure, being a VMware admin, and then fun stuff too, because people like that. I have a bad habit of posting the things that I eat, for lunch or dinner, which isn't always interesting. You don't want to do that all the time. People don't want to see that. But sometimes when it's really cool, like a cheeseburger in paradise, then it's worth posting. So those are some quotes there from Geek Whispers. So first off, we had to have a plan. Second off was, network. Tell people about your plan. So the third one is learn. And creating a bunch of video training, I'm really passionate about learning. But I've always been that way. I used to love to just get a lot of different certifications. I had a 3Com 3 Wizard certification. I'm a certified ethical hacker. I'm a Sun certified Solaris administrator. I'm an IBM AIX certified expert. Microsoft, all those other ones. But yeah, I just love learning different technologies over the years. So, pick what is it that you want to learn. Could be, could just be VMware, but it could be. I love how cloud infrastructure just involves so many different disciplines. Compute, storage, network, operating systems, and then it's getting more and more into scripting, automation, stuff like that. Super cool stuff. So there's just so many opportunities for learning, and that's one of the things I love about technology is it's always evolving. There's always something new to learn. But have a learning plan, just like this plan for your career. Have a plan of the things you want to learn. So maybe you want to learn blogging as well, or sales marketing, your company's applications even. And there's great, again, great resources. vBrown Bag, Train Signal, VMware Education. There's more and more resources all the time. VMware Pressbooks. So for those who don't know, Eric Siebert's virtualization blog is vSphereLand.com, vSphere-land.com. And he has something called the vLaunchpad, which is kind of like a menu of all these different virtualization sites. And on there, he has the top 50 virtualization blogs, which he holds a survey of every year. And he spends a lot of time calculating, and people vote and everything, who has the best blog. But there's a lot of blogs out here that are very recent, entries. There's some blogs that might have only been on there for a year, let's say. So I encourage you to read those blogs, and if you want to build a blog, there's every opportunity to be on the list as well. Just do a good job and be consistent about it. The VMware Communities Roundtable podcast show. John Troyer has been doing this every Wednesday at noon Pacific time for a long, long time. This graphic was taken a little while back, and he was already up to episode 225. So, talk about a model of discipline and consistency. He's, one of the best ones that I've seen when it comes to podcasting and just keeping that show going, kind of no matter what. I believe he did one from Hawaii when he was on vacation, stuff like that. So not everybody has to do that, but he has certainly paid his dues and done everything he can do to make that show successful. But it's one of the best resources, really, I think, for what's going on in the world of VMware and virtualization. And if you can't make the show, it's great to make the show because you've got live chat, and that's one of the great opportunities every week to socialize with other people in the virtualization world. But if you can't, it's recorded on iTunes. It's available later on the web. You can download, the show notes on the VMware blog. So make sure you don't miss that one. The VMware Professional Brown Bags. There's a schedule. They happen. Anybody want to tell me? How often do the brown bags happen?
Every week.
Every week. What time?
In the U.S., 7:30 Central.
7:30 Central in the U.S. So, and other times in other parts of the world.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing that these free educational sessions just keep going and going. So, kudos to those guys. I encourage everyone to watch and tune in, and if you can't, watch the recordings later. They've had a lot of great experts on. Edward Kalecki, Scott Lowe, all these people from VMware. I watched one where, trying to remember the guy's name, the guy who authored the VCP Blueprint. He's like the main author of the VCP Blueprint. He was on talking about certification and the future of certification, and there's not a better place really to connect with somebody of that caliber. Something else is, of course, VMware's Planet V12N. So all of the VMware blogs are aggregated into one place. That's V12N. And it's available in an RSS feed. It's available on Twitter at Planet V12N. And it's, of course, also available on the website. So if you just had to go one place, to learn about the world of virtualization and the news from all the different bloggers, that's a great place to go. So secret number 3 was to learn. Secret number 4 is to innovate, so to really push yourself. So one of the things that I do, for good or bad, to push myself is, like when I go snow skiing, I have this bad habit of, keep in mind I'm just kind of a green or maybe blue snow skier. I have this bad habit of going to the double black diamonds and trying to go down. So I've come home, with a cut up face and like a broken bone in my hand and stuff, and my wife laughs at me and tells me I'm nuts. But just an example, I hate to not push myself and try the hardest thing available if it's there. I'd much rather do that and fail than to just stay on the greens all the time and play it safe. So, in your own career, I encourage you to try to innovate and push yourself. One of the acronyms that TrainSignal uses is CNEI, or Continuous Never-Ending Improvement. So whatever you did, just keep trying to make it better. You might not have the time or the energy or the money to take whatever you have and just make it amazing all in one step. But by continuously, improving whatever it is you're trying to improve, like your career, you can really be successful. So some of the best blog posts, in my opinion, is just problems that people have had, and then they found a way to solve it, and then they blog about it. So just, think about it in your daily work. You have a problem in the virtual infrastructure or some problem to solve. It might not be a major problem where the whole thing's down, but just some minor thing that you have to spend some time fixing. If you could just blog about that, that's, in most cases, the best type of blog post, because there's other people who have that same type of problem. In fact, like the owner of my company, TrainSignal, he owns a website called the Petri IT Knowledge Base, who this guy in Israel started back in like the mid-90s. He was a Microsoft guy, and every time he would find a problem with Microsoft Windows, he would blog about it. And now it has like over 1,500 or I don't know, maybe more, a few thousand blog posts, all on just Microsoft, solving Microsoft problems. So it's become like a better resource than Microsoft's own, TechNet for many of the common problems. And because of that, it's a hugely successful website, even though nobody's ever heard of this, maybe Israeli domain. In Google search, that is like the place to go for Microsoft knowledge access. So just an example of, sharing your problems, your fixes to problems, how they can really become successful. Social media, I'm excited, has really leveled the playing field, for us as common VMware admins to communicate with, executives at companies, support people at companies, and our peers. So on social media, you can ask, you can send a direct message to someone on Twitter and say, hey, I'm thinking about going to work at company XYZ. I noticed you work there. Would you mind giving me some advice? And just seeing what happens. So it's a great way to communicate with people that we didn't really have, before. So innovate, think of, ways to find the answers you need and continuously improve your career. Last thing I have on here is say yes. I have, for good or bad, I tend to say yes to just about any request. And it's been a good thing because like at VMworld 2010, I submitted a bunch of call for papers for the VMworld sessions. And much to my surprise, one of them was accepted, which was the best free tools. And I'd never spoke to a big crowd before, and I'd written about that topic, but I wasn't the single best expert on that topic in the whole wide world. But I got that session, and then I got Kendrick Coleman to help me because he had an extensive blog post on that topic, and it turned out to be a really successful session. We were asked to repeat it 2 more times, and then we were asked to go to Europe and present it as well. So it was just an example of, putting in a little, call for papers suggestion, and then being asked to speak and saying yes, and I feel like that really helped to get my name out there, in the world of virtualization, simply by saying yes, to speaking. Because I think a lot of people, they're the VMUG leaders, like, hey, do you want to speak at the VMUG? They're like, nah, I don't have anything to say, Say yes, and just, put yourself out there. Oh, that was my slide, me and Kenny. VMworld 2010. So Kenny's an example of someone who has said yes and has just pushed himself in his spare time to build up his blog and his personal brand. It's kind of become the place to go for free tools and for vCloud Director because he does a lot of that in his job. Some other people who have pushed themselves. Hey, Mr. Josh Chatwell. Hey, I just saw him sitting over there. Great guy. He continues to push himself and, write books. And, he's got, small kids, but he pushes himself to do the V Brown bags or, whatever he can do. And I doubt that when someone asked him if he wants to write something or speak somewhere, rarely does he say, no, I don't want to do that. So that's his blog there. And there's so many other examples of people who, maybe Scott Lowe and Duncan Epping, those guys, their blog just didn't start off one day being super popular. They slowly over time build it. It had to start somewhere. So everyone has something to contribute. So secret number 5 is to prove it. When you go to the grocery store, you got the butcher and all the meat there. Which one do you pick? Well, there's this brand that says Certified Angus Beef. I don't know what that certification involves. I really don't know what that means, but I like that sticker on there, and it looks important, and I'm going to select that one. So I encourage you to try to prove your knowledge, and prove yourself to other people by distinguishing yourself in some way. So it could be to get a certification, it could be to have a nice blog, it could be to write a book or speak at the VMUG, whatever it is. Find some way to prove yourself. I know it takes discipline, but keep statistics. What did you do for your company? How much money did you save? How many blog posts did you write last year? So forth. So, of course, VMware has great ways to prove yourself with certification. They have many new certifications, more than they ever had before. I've got a presentation on the top 3 VMware certifications to get. Jason Langer, he's proving himself. He's got a great VCAP DCA book along with Josh Cohen on how to prepare for the DCA. Jason Lagone, again, he's got a really cool iBook on Apple iTunes called Desktop as a Service. He's proving himself. And so here's the basic process that I start off with. Target, what's your target? What's your goal? Network, tell other people about it. Learn, innovate, push yourself, and then prove it in some way. And a quote from Chuck Hollis, EMC, try to suck a little less every day. And that's kind of the not so nice way of saying that continuous never-ending improvement, I had. Try to get better every day. So educate, yourself, motivate yourself, and socialize. So I know we're running out of time here. That was something else. There's my contact information if you have any questions. It's a real honor to speak here today. Thank you very much.